All right, guys, welcome back. So cool to have you for the second video. I hope you guys had a lot of success with the three-way hip mobility exercise. And really, I hope you guys started to realize after you were done with it that some of your hip and lower back pain started to go away. If not, that's okay. Sometimes we also need to implement a stretch series with it. So when the tissue is relaxed from the mobility exercise, we can now lengthen it with stretching, which is what we're gonna go into today. So the first of the three stretches is gonna be maybe something you have seen in yoga before. If not, it is totally okay. What we call this is the hip opener, because my goal here is to get, in this case, my left leg as far back as possible and my right leg open or at 90 degrees, but my knee is not straight. Hence, we call it the hip opener. If my knee was straight, I would be kind of stuck in this position. We allow the knee to open up, which allows our hip to open. Now, something that is very interesting is this position is actually a half position of a squat. So I'm gonna come out of the stretch quickly just to show you what I'm talking about. But if I were to be in a squat, my knees come out a little bit. So this is fantastic because it's gonna begin to teach ourselves the right positioning when we wanna be in a squat, which will really help alleviate our lower back pain. I always tell my clients if they're always walking into a door instead of going through the door, then they're always going to have pain. So what we need to do is just open the door for them so they can learn how to walk through it so the pain doesn't continue to come back. It's the same thing when we're moving wrong. So if we've been squatting wrong our entire life, of course we're gonna have hip and lower back pain. So this stretch is a fantastic way to start to teach your body how we can not only move correct, but also open the tissue that is gonna need to have the mobility and the range of motion in order for us in the future videos to learn how to move. So this is stretch number one. A nice little addition to it is you can also kind of rock back and forth. This creates a little bit of a mobilization in the lower hip. From here, what we're gonna wanna do is either bring the knee a little bit farther forward. If we don't have the range of motion, set something under our knee if our carpet is not very soft. But if you are ready, I'm now gonna take my opposite hand, so my left leg is back, and I'm gonna take my right hand and I'm gonna grab the foot like this. Now this is a fantastic stretch also because we can focus on two different areas. I can focus on driving my hip forward, which is gonna stretch my hip flexor and a little bit of my adductors, or I can also turn towards the other camera here and squeeze my foot or bring my foot more to my butt. This is gonna help stretch one of our quad muscles called the rectus femoris that crosses both the hip and the knee joint and is notorious for lower back pain, but even more so knee pain. So through these stretches, we can really start to focus on more than just one area. We can focus on our hip, our lower back, and now even our knee pain. So from here, what I'm gonna wanna do is just kind of breathe into this stretch. If I want, I can focus on kicking my foot down to the ground, so getting like a contract, relax style stretch. So I would just kick about 20% for about 5 to 10 seconds, relax, and then pull my foot even closer or drive my hip more towards the ground. When we are done with this one, we go ahead and just set the foot down. We can go ahead and change positions if we want. And the third stretch, we're gonna take a break here because it's gonna be against the wall. All right, so the last stretch is known as the couch stretch, but we've actually modified it and completely changed it in the last years, and now we use a wall. So we're gonna have a few rules that we need to follow. One is allowed to be broken, one is not. So what we're gonna do first of all is get something nice and soft for our knee to stay on. We're gonna start in this position here because it's the easiest to climb into the stretch, and I'm gonna go ahead and stretch my left leg. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna the goal is to have my knee completely against the wall. However, that is not mandatory. But what is mandatory, which you're seeing near the camera here, is I need my foot behind my butt. If it is out to the side, I am losing too much torque within the stretch, and then we're not getting the maximal capabilities of the range of motion that we're searching for. So I'm gonna make sure that the foot is behind the butt. That's mandatory for everybody. If you need to bring your knee out a little bit, that is totally okay. And then from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step up with my opposite foot and then actually, before I bring myself up, I'm gonna give you guys a few stretches here. I want you to kind of work on this stretch and really try to open it up here. So again, it's just like the hip opener. I'm able to drop my hip down. My foot is still behind my butt. You can even change the foot position a little bit to feel what it does to the muscles. And then when you feel like you have relaxed a little bit with that muscle, you're able to come up. And what I actually like to do is cheat a little bit. So I'm gonna block myself in this other camera and really come up and balance myself as I come up. So you can easily use a chair, a table, a ball if you have one at home. Something I like to do is take my opposite hand, push the foot out a little bit, because that will really line it up with my butt, and you will notice the torque and the stretch when the hip is even greater. Now, this might seem a bit extreme. I'll set this aside so the other camera is still good. This might seem a bit extreme for a lot of people. That is not a problem. Then slide your knee out and go ahead and start from there. I live 900 miles away from Berlin. I'm outside of Stuttgart. And what we always say is it possible to walk from Stuttgart to Berlin? Yes, it is, but you just have to stop talking about it and start it. All right, guys, so as we like to say in German, viel Erfolg. That means I wish you a lot of luck. I'm super excited for the third video of the series, which I'm gonna go over a lower back mobility exercise and a stretch, which is awesome. So guys, stay tuned. I'm super excited to send it to you. And if you have any questions, hit that email button and let me know.